Hello and welcome to American Falls. This is episode 5 and we're going to be buying some new fields to grow some alfalfa. So we've taken a bit of a loan from the bank, about 300,000, and this is the field that I'm looking at. I want it pretty close to the farm. So this is right next door to us. It's got this bit of land that we can reclaim, make the square acreage, etc. a lot bigger. Well, not a lot, but bigger. And it's a fair size for making alfalfa hay. So that's that bought. Let's go and get it. The field extended. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out those centre bits. Not quite sure what the last farmer was thinking about when they did that. Maybe they just like to have different shapes, but yeah, for me it's just wasted space. I know some people like to have pathways through their fields for wildlife to travel, but I find that it's just better to leave a decent border around the fields. As long as you keep continuity, the wildlife will find their paths, particularly small rodents and such like. In any case, let's get this done. We're just going to extend this field. Nice and easy. This plough just sorts it out. Oh, another collectible. That's probably why this was made by the map maker, so that you could find that collectible. Well, it's not a really major problem, it's just it's quite nice really, because you don't have to, it gives you a little bit of a choice of what you're going to do with the field before you've even started working with it, you know. And of course it makes it so much easier for workers once you've sorted this out. We'll just try and square off the field a little bit. It's not going to be able to be squared off, but we can claim a little bit more land. There's a couple of plants, maybe half a bale extra of alfalfa hay. I'm sure the animals will appreciate the diversity in their feed, even though it's probably going to be made into TMR, but for cows. Right, that's that done. Let's get this planted, and just need to set everything to alfalfa. It's got a nice width on this seeder. Of course the fertilizers at the same time as well. Set it down and get going. Whoa, 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 whoa. Nearly, well, it did do it again, but didn't get too far this time. This field still needs to be limed. The pH level is not right. Well, at this point in time we haven't even analysed the soil. Got to wait for the lab to get back with us before we start working on it. Should be back any minute now. In any event, in the meantime we'll pop down to the store and go and buy a liming wagon. This is one that I've been interested in using. fairly cheap. We can buy it outright. It's got a fair capacity. Well, for this field it's not too much of a problem because we don't have far to go to get to our resources silo, if you want to call it that. Let's get it filled up. Nearly forgot. Of course, this field just to the right of us here has not been limed because I made exactly the same mistake as I was just about, that I caught myself making fairly early, or very early. We only did a couple of meters into the field. So we'll get this liming started, and then we'll lime until we've got a bit of a head start, and then we'll put it onto work and start planting. Yeah, with lime it's not a hugely wide spreading width, but it's wide enough. But the plant is much wider, so we need to do a few headlands and get a little bit ahead of ourselves before we start getting the plant going. Yeah, so I think this is the first time I'm working with alfalfa. I have started also on the Alma series. I've been working with a little bit with alfalfa, but I think this is the first time I'm planting alfalfa, because on that map we were presented with a alfalfa field when we started. So yeah, I think on this map we can also do clover, so we'll get another clover field going somewhere along the line. But I think the next field I want to do is get a grass field going so that I can get some grass as well as make some silage. I think we'll also try and get hold of a cornfield so we can do some corn silage as well. Yeah, just all these little things that we need to do before we can get the cattle going properly. So I don't want to buy any cattle. I know I can buy in feed to get it started, but I want to be self-sufficient before we start in the main. So we definitely want to be able to produce TMR, whether we doing it in a TMR mixer or whether we get a factory built. Whoops, straight into the tree. Luckily it was just a little love tap. Fender bender, if you want to call it that. Right, let's get this planted now. I'm going to just seed over the little area that we've already done. This probably won't take any seed. So we did get the analysis done, and the field has a nice bit of loam through it, quite a bit of loam, but there's a seam of silty clay running through the centre. But it looks like in general the soil around this area is not too bad. So yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. So I would say maybe a third, maybe even a little bit less, maybe a quarter of the field of this field is silty clay. But that's okay. Grass grows reasonably well in clay. Although it's not, with the way this is modelled, it's not going to change. We're still going to get reduced yields in those areas. a nice width on this planter. Makes it nice and easy. So we'll do this little section that is jutting out here first, so that we can let we'll just wait for it as it goes past. Let the lime spreader get ahead of us again. It is ahead of us. By the time we've done this, we should be okay. We shouldn't catch up to it until just about the end. Also, the seeder seeds at a reasonable pace. Got a decent tractor on it, of course, so got a bit of pulling power, this tractor. So I'm going to look at the field just to the right of us here, as well as possibly our next purchase. But we're going to have to do some contracts. We've still got a bit of money left that we can take from the bank. We'll try and during this the summer period, the spring and summer period, try and get as many fields going as possible. It's probably going to put a little bit of pressure on the bank balance, because we'll max out our loans, or get close to maxing out our loans, just so that we can get going. So I want a alfalfa field we've got. I want a grass field. We already got growing wheat or barley. I can't remember what we had in that top field. And then we've got sugar beet growing in the open square field. And then we've got alfalfa growing here. Instead of, we'll try and eventually get this field to the right of us for grass. And then these two fields will just remain. Well, we'll see. I've got a feeling we're going to get an overstock of grass and alfalfa hay. But we can sell it, so it'd be a pity to just get one season out of these fields when we can get quite a few seasons, quite a few cuts out of these two fields. And there's plenty of other fields that we can buy around here that we can plant with crops, with arable crops as well. Lime's just emptied out. But luckily, as I said, we're right next to the farm, so we can just go to our store silo and get some lime. That's not bad. I mean, this is not the biggest capacity spreader, but for its price, pretty good. And we've only had to refill it once on the size field. I suppose when we get further away, we'll have to think about it a bit. We might have to get a supply vehicle, but those are, number one, good problems to have, because if we're going that far away from the farm area, we're doing okay, because we're either looking to buy big fields, or we've bought all the fields around our area, trying to keep things as compact as possible to start with until we build up a nice little bank balance. The nice thing about this size planter, or seeder, not planter, is that it really gets through the acreage when you're planting. Get through it pretty quickly. Missed a couple of spots, but that's alright. Because we're on precision farming, it's only going to plant in the areas that it needs to. So we're not wasting any seed or anything. Of course, I do all the planting, all the ploughing, without using any GPS. I like to try and do it using my wits. I do use the little map on the end, put it onto the X and Y axes, so 0 degrees, 360, 90, 270, and that makes it pretty easy. The most difficult thing then is making sure you don't overlap too much or too little. As you saw with that with that little strip up the middle, I didn't quite get it right, but that's fine. That's fine. Bit of old school ploughing and planting, and so I do try and keep it just a little bit of an overlap. Not much of an overlap on this one, but that's the overlap that was filling that little gap there, so yeah. I didn't see whether I'm presuming the lime spreader must be finished. Can't see it parked up anyway. It's probably right down at the bottom of this field. Yeah, I think I can see it in the distance there, so it is finished. Well, we'll just catch up to it and then we'll move it. Still just love the way this map looks when you're ploughing. The mountains in the distance, and that's just fantastic. Just had to stop for a little second or two to take in the scene. Catch my breath. Yeah. Hope the neighbour doesn't mind me driving over his field. Should have done a headland, but yeah. Getting too excited. Not doing the job properly. See, they put too much overlap on this one. It's not a problem because I wouldn't have been able to finish the whole field on 2 passes. It's always going to have to be a 3-pass finish. And we'll have to move the lime tractor and trailer. It's going to be in the way by the time we get to the bottom of this pass. But yeah, there we go. See, you had to just nip it out. I suppose we could have actually planted it. As I say, I like to leave a bit of a gap for wildlife movements. Let's get this tractor out of the way and go and park up the lime trailer. We'll have to put it under cover because we don't have a cover for this trailer. Just leave the lime in it for now. Let's put it right to the back of the shed. Let's give the trailer itself a bit of a clean first, I think, just before we put it in. Park up the tractor. Yeah, I decided not to clean the lime trailer because the lime would get wet. So I thought I'd just park the tractor up and then just give it a quick power wash. That's it done. Let's get this finished off. Just as one more pass. Yes, I'm quite happy with this field. It's looking nice and productive. Haven't got all that wasted space in the center. Got alfalfa growing. Should grow pretty quickly. And we can get this parked up now. Nice job done. Well, I think that's where I'm going to end this episode. Thank you so much for watching. If you've enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. And we'll see you in the next episode. Cheerio.